What's up, everybody? This is Growing with the Girtleys. My name is Kai.
I'm Jason.
And we are a family channel where we will start doing videos, discussing our family, our relationship in terms of marriage, our children, what it is to be parents, and just what those relationships look like, our relationships and how they influence our world around us. And so we are wanting to build bridges. We want to sort of meet in the middle and see how we can do this thing called life, whereby we give God glory because we are Christians, and we can effectively touch people. So that is the point of this channel. Babe, did you have anything?
Yeah. Our goal right now is that we've been married close to about 2 years, and we've had our issues, we've had our struggles, but we decided a very long time ago that divorce was out the question, and we were going to be together and work through and grow through whatever we were going through to the end. And we just feel that we have some tools that you guys may be able to utilize to strengthen your relationship, strengthen your marriage, and not only just have a marriage, but we want a functional marriage.
Yeah, and we want to have fun. Like, we don't want to be uptight. We don't want to make this so religious whereby people can't relate. We hope that even single people watch this and they are, blessed by this, whereby they can say, you know what, that's what I want, or that's not what I want, and just learn from what we've gone through and learn from our experiences. I have some influences here on YouTube. I'm a big YouTube fan. I've been one since really the beginning, but I'm really, I've become sort of an introvert. So this is a challenge for me even to get this going. This has been something that I've been thinking about for quite some time. But people like Tabitha Brown has been a great source of just getting me out of my box. Have on stage, That Chick Angel. I am such a fan of those YouTubers. Newly starting to watch, what is her name? Kelly Stamps. Really, really great YouTubers that if you are interested in doing something like this, those are really great resources that you can maybe look to and be influenced by and helped and just sort of encouraged to even start this journey here on YouTube. So we pray and we hope that this is fun and that, again, it is something that helps you. So today we're just going to dive in again. This is for us, just the relationship part. We will introduce the children and some other parts of the channel later on as we grow. We just want to sort of crawl before we walk. But today we are going to start with our relationship portion, or channel rather. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know. I'm still learning, y'all. So again, it's building bridges. Just sort of a little bit of background before we jump into it, babe. How I even sort of came up with the idea of building bridges. I always just think of meeting in the middle, like compromising, and not compromising to a point of conforming. That's not what I mean when I say compromising. I just think that in relationships, you have to, you have 2 points of view. You have two people, right, with two different points of view. From that vantage point, from those different vantage points, you see very different things, right? So we have different histories and just, things. Our families are very different. Jason and I are, anybody that knows us out there in the world, they know that Jason and I are so very different. We were raised very differently. We grew up in the church. We did meet in the church. Thank God. Shout out to Sweet Holy Spirit, Chicago, Illinois, Bishop Trotter. Shout out to them. And that's where we met, but very different, very different. And so how did we sort of come to this place? We met in the middle, right? We had to realize, first of all, that our core values were very solid, which was our faith. But from that was really it. So this has just been a big part of how we've not only gotten together, but how we've stayed together. We've had to figure out, you know what, my mom raised me this way, and this is how I am. And she wasn't wrong, and I'm not wrong. Your mama raised you that way. You are not wrong. She was not wrong. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? How do we now start building our own families and being, and function be a functional family? So we've had to just see what works for us and put our differences aside and figure out what works for us. I don't know if that made sense. Did that make any sense, babe? Yeah. It was really and
the other thing that we definitely want to do is that, functional marriages, more important, functional relationships, but more so healthy. That's what the trick is for us. And it took us a while to get this healthy dynamic going on.
Yeah, and we fought a lot at the beginning.
Yes, we did. It was all her fault, and I was just honestly just flawless in my approach.
He still thinks that.
But the thing is that the things we have to grow together, and we have to grow through some things. And the one thing that we can say about marriage, just like people who are trying to get married or who are currently married, people who are currently married, we feel you. We are in solidarity with you guys. People make that stuff look easy. It is not.
It is not. It's easier to stop and to give up and to do something else, to go your separate ways, to again, stay on your side of the fence or the bridge and just be like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do me. You hear that type of language a lot. But that's not what marriage is. Marriage is absolutely about putting your differences aside and figuring out, how do we do this? How do we work this out? Just a quick story. When we had our son, our first child, we fought a lot. We were, I'm the baby of my family. I didn't have a whole lot of examples or anything underneath me. So, I was figuring it out as I went. Jason, pretty much, he's the middle child. But, it was just difficult. We live in Nevada, and our parents are not here. We don't have a lot of family here. I have a sister here, but I don't have, a lot of family here. And I just remember, the normal struggles that, we again didn't know that it was normal, but the struggles that new parents go through. And we were just always at each other's throats. And it was to the point that we became very mean towards each other. Now, Jason and I, again, we've known each other since we were very young in high school. And then we started dating later in life when we were about in our 30s. About 30, actually, is when we started dating. So we were already friends and friendly towards each other. So for us to now be married and to now all of a sudden be mean, that was just totally out of character. It was not us. It was not easy. And I just remember us just kind of stopping one night and just saying, you know what? We've got to stop with the disrespect. Like, we just had to really just take a beat and just, I think he sat down at the table. I was across from him. I think we had finally put the baby to sleep or something. But we just had to just come to ourselves and say, you know what? The disrespect is what needs to stop. We were always friends. And it hurts my feelings when you do. Or I don't mean to hurt your feelings when I say or when I do. You know what I mean? We had to really unpack those things and get to a place of calm and get to a place of peace. Just acknowledging we don't know what we're doing raising this child. Being new parents, we just had to just come to a place of I'm on your side, you're on my side. We're not on opposite ends of the spectrum, right? We're not on different teams. We're on the same team. And once we got to that place, I think that things just became a little bit easier, at least in that area. Life was still hard, but the disrespect, we still remained friends. That's a very critical time for, I believe, couples. Sometimes you have to separate yourself from sometimes family members. Well, God had already did that for us because you just don't want a lot of outside sources, if you will, coming in and influencing how you feel, right? So don't get on the phone with mama. Don't get on the phone with sister, brother, cousin, whomever, and just sort of vent. Because at some point, if God wills, you're going to make up with your partner. And then they still going to be mad. Or remind you of those times when you're trying to forget and forgive and move on. So just be careful to always remain friendly and respectful and kind to your partner, even in the darkest times, even in the hardest times, because that was a really hard time for us. But that's just something that we had to do. So that was just my example of that.
Yeah, it was tough because for me, I am the middle child, and I know I babysat before, and I remember just having, you know, a lot of we call our arguments intense discourses. We had a lot of intense discourse over everything.
Bottle feeding, diaper changing.
Oh my God, you're not doing this right. You're not changing him right. Is he comfortable? It was like one instant where, you know, my son even said, "Mom, can you chill?"
Yeah.
So we did come to that, I guess, end of the rope type deal. You know, but one thing that my wife basically said was like, what we did was we sat it down, and honestly, the real reason why we still together, I'm gonna keep it 100. Her mom was in town, and she saw what we was going through. She said, "I'm gonna hold the baby," and we went to go see Iron Man 2. And Iron Man 2 saved our marriage because we
needed a date night.
Yeah, we didn't have the baby with us. We didn't have it was like not that distraction. We was with each other.
That's a good point, babe.
And I told her like, "Babe, I just miss my friend."
That's a good point.
You know, and that was something that what we try to incorporate in our marriage daily, weekly.
Check-ins.
Yeah, check-ins and date nights. Just like find somewhere to drop the kids off, and we just go at it and have fun.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. I mean, that's exactly what needed to happen.
Yep.
And now that they're older, our kids are older now, and not, you know, we still have small kids, but they're not babies. Now we're able to breathe. Just going to the grocery store without 2 kids under 5 is a blessing. And we're just now getting to that place. Yep. Our son is 8, our daughter is 5. We're just now getting to that place of being able to, you know what, y'all going to summer camp this year. And y'all gonna stay there pretty much the whole day. Like that's, you know, it's been a struggle. So I just, you know, I thank God for the struggles, the problems that we had, but also the, you know, the heart that Jason has, that I have to stick to this, to stick with it. We have friends that we got married with around the same time. Those couples, you know, aren't together anymore. And I just don't think that it was easy. I mean, it's definitely, it's not an easy decision.
You're right.
It's just not an easy decision. So we just want to prevent that if we can. If we can share a story, if we can, you know, help in any way, shape, or form, that's what we want to do. That's what this channel is for. If you have questions, comments, thoughts, ideas that you want to hear us talk about, you can even, you know, drop those comments below. If you want, we're going to be as transparent, you know, as we can be, obviously with respect to our marriage. And, you know, we don't want to be out here telling all the business, but we will be transparent because we do want to help. So, you know, any questions that you guys may have, go ahead and drop those questions in the comment section. We are here again to help as much as we can. So today's topic, go ahead, babe. You wanted to talk about what?
Well, today's topic we was going to talk about was I titled this one "The Lingerie Gift." So the reason why, shout out to a friend of mine named Quentin, because years ago he did a sermon on this one. But basically, lingerie gift is basically that gift that, for me, if I bought my wife really great lingerie, if she's the type of woman that loves to wear lingerie, it's a great gift. But indirectly, the gift is for me because I want to see my wife in the lingerie.
Right.
So even though it's a gift for her, it's really for me. And the one thing that we had some issues about was gift giving and also doing things for each other, but indirectly the reason why we're doing it is not to better them. Indirectly is to help us out. So the best example was this one day when we was down to one car, whatever. My and I'm gonna let you know my car's a mess. I don't really care about how my car looks. So therefore, there is stuff here, stuff there. It's my car. It's whatever. My kids have been eating and drinking stuff in the back. You clean that back seat, you probably find a whole lot of stuff in there. Nothing growing, obviously, but
Are we sure?
Anyway, so one day she came, she picked me up, that same day she in the car.
Right, so my car was in the shop, so I had your car.
Right. And then what happened was that she came back and said, "Do you notice anything different?" And I'm looking at the car, no, I do not.
Talk about in your feelings.
She got the car washed and the interior cleaned out. Everything was nice, clean, smelled
great.
I didn't notice.
How did you miss that?
That's not on my radar. And then she said, "Aren't you excited about it? I got your car cleaned." And I was like, "Yeah," but then I was a little bit like, "Well, thanks for that, but that's not what I really wanted. I didn't really request it. I didn't really ask for it." But bringing it back to the lingerie gift, my wife loves driving in an impeccable car. Her car is clean. It smells nice, cleaned on the inside. That's how my wife likes to drive, and that's perfectly fine. I don't get in her car like, "Oh my God, it's too clean." That's how she rolls. But the fact is that she was driving in my car, cleaned up my car, and I believe specifically the reason why she got my car clean was not necessarily to help me out. She just used to a certain way she likes to drive a car. Thus, the lingerie gift. So that's the one thing I will say is that one thing when we're talking about when we're trying to help each other out or you're trying to do something for your spouse, you want to make sure, number one, it's what they want, and number two, they recognize it as this is help. Because when I was married to my wife, not married, I'm sorry, I'm still married. When we got together, my wife, hated coming into a dirty house, or more specifically, a dirty kitchen. So what I would basically do, I would do the dishes. That's it. Floor a mess, stove a mess, table a mess, living room a mess. Everything is just whatever. But every single dish is pristine, organized, drying. And then she'll be coming in, and I'll be expecting this praise, like, "Babe, what? Look at what I did." And then she looking at me, "Thank you, but did you see this? Did you notice that?" So remember we was talking about how it takes us, we got to grow through some things. By being around her a long time, I finally figured out this is what she means when she wants this done. So now I'm able to be a help, because now when she walks in, everything is clean and in order, put away. Because when she comes in the house, it makes her feel good. That she don't have to worry about the kitchen. It is a help. She recognized it as a help. I'm helping her the way she likes to be helped. And now it works out well. So one thing I will say is that when you're doing those things for people, and when you're doing something for your spouse or for the person that you're dealing with, you want to make sure that if you're helping them out or you're giving them a gift, make sure it's a real gift that they're going to appreciate, or you're helping them out in a way that they know you're helping them. Because a lot of times, and dealing with my wife, she goes out to help me, but I see it as a hindrance. It's in the way. One day she organized all my papers, and I appreciate that. But the problem was,
you couldn't find anything.
Like, where is this thing? Where was the piece of paper with the red mark on with the X that was under the blue candy piece of, I have a system in my head, right? So the goal is that we did all that stuff, and she did that, but it was always annoying. It was more frustrating, and I found myself like, "Babe, just don't touch anything. I'll do it." Because her help, in my eyes, was a hindrance. And that's the one thing in a relationship you want to really recognize, because that was kind of like the beginning of lots of intense discourses that we've had.
So what I wanted to say was two things about the lingerie gift. The first thing is that you do have to absolutely know that what you're giving is something that your partner recognizes as help. I agree with that 100%. So obviously that you do it with, good intentions and that sort of thing. Now, I don't believe that I had ill intentions when I got his car cleaned.
Okay.
Now, I do like clean things.
Impeccable.
Okay. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I've driven your car plenty of times and I didn't have it cleaned. It really was something that was genuine and from my heart that I wanted to do for him, because he does. He takes my car out on the weekends and he gets my gas. I mean, he does all those good things that, husbands do. And I was just thinking like, well, I have his car today, so let me go ahead and, get it cleaned. I wasn't going to go out to the garage and wash it myself. So I said, well, let me go and get it cleaned for him. And I thought that it was something that he should have recognized. So he didn't. And yes, I was in my feelings about it, because I just thought like, how dare you not even acknowledge or notice even that I had done this for you. And then now furthermore, but you really only did it for yourself. So that was a little hurtful. But I do understand his point. Maybe a better gift would have been, I don't know, to bring him lunch that day. Like, I had his car, so he doesn't care about, his car being cleaned, but what would have been a better gift? Where's the compromise? Where's the bridge here?
Well, a cool gift for me is the fact is that or help, whatever you want to call it, would have been just like brought me lunch, something like that. Or, hey babe, I'm stopping by McDonald's. You want this McFlurry that you like?
Right. Something special that I know that you like. That's true. Okay, so there we go. My second point to that though is don't reject help. Oftentimes in relationships, your partner can see what you don't see or what you've been ignoring. And this goes both ways. And so that to me is a part of the partnership. Mm-hmm. It is sort of uncovering or unmasking that thing that you've sort of allowed to, become a problem now in your life. Because that's just the goodness of Jesus, right? That's just what he does. And so don't reject that truth. Don't reject this part of you that your partner has recognized and stay sort of in this place of defeat or whatever the problem is. Don't stay there when now it's been revealed to you that this is a problem. So I'm just saying that, not to make this deeper than it needs to be, because it's just about a car wash. But sometimes, you know what I mean, there is a deficit and things do need to be addressed. And typically it's your partner. And I remember my mom saying it this way. My mom as a mother, black mama from the South, God bless her, love her to life. She is everything to me. Mm-hmm. When she would yell at me and fuss at me, I felt so embarrassed and ashamed growing up, because I just felt like, oh my God, she's so mean. How could she say that to me, or whatever it was? But she said, if I don't tell you, then somebody else is going to tell you. Somebody else will tell you who don't love you, and that's going to hurt worse. And so that's sort of when we bring things, does that make sense? When I correct my children, it's because I don't want their teachers to have to correct them, because the teachers don't love them like mommy loves them. When I bring something to your attention, it's not because I'm trying to call you out or make you feel less than. It's because I love you. I'd rather tell you than having, you know, someone else tell you, or you going out there into the world and being embarrassed or not respected. Because it's not like when you're a child. When you're a grown up, people just let things ride, and you got the booger in your nose, you know, something's problematic, and they may not say anything to you and just let it ride, and you look a fool. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to bring it to your attention with love. Now, I'm not saying that I've always brought it to your attention with love. I'm definitely not going to sit here and lie and say that. But that's what it is. So just in terms of being on the side of receiving a gift, you know, don't reject the truth.
Well, I mean,
Be grateful for gifts.
The one thing I will say is that, like, I call myself being grateful for it, you know, and I know that to me, I probably could have played a little bit better, you know. But the one thing about it is that I told my wife a few times, like, if that was going to help me, you know, just make sure I know it's help. Because one thing what my wife does for me is that she kind of makes my lunches on the go. Because in the morning I'm always late and I got to grab and go. So she's really good about making sure my lunches are all in like one of the little
meal prep
Tupperware type thing, and I'm able to just grab and go. And that's perfect for me. I'm able to get in, get out, do what I got to do. You know, and that's help. You know, one day, one time before we had kids, she would wake up with me, give me some oatmeal.
You see that shade? Before we had children, that's what she used to do. Go ahead. I caught it.
But the cool thing about it was that, you know, that I knew that was help. You know, and likewise, some of the things that I brought to her attention, after a while, she realized that was help too. Like, oh, he really can handle this. So the one thing with the lingerie gift, just make sure that if this is ever a contention in your marriage or your relationship, just let, you know, y'all need to basically, I guess in the build the bridge vein, y'all come into the middle with that and decide what really is the gift, what's the whole purpose of that, why was I doing that? Because the goal is that we want you guys to be healthy and grateful, and we don't want you to be disrespectful of the giver, because therefore the gifts may stop or they just won't care anymore.
And then you just don't, you know, the whole point of lingerie, right, is to have a wonderful night. So you don't want something that's intended to be, you know what I mean, a really great gift, cause an argument. You don't want that to ruin your night when it was definitely not intended for that. So just, you know, keep things into proper perspective, I think, is the message here. Just being honest and being kind to each other. Definitely good points, I think. Sometimes, you know, again, giving gifts, make sure those gifts are done with the right intentions, given with the right intentions, and that it's received. It's received with the right intentions. Is that the bridge?
Pretty much.
So that is our show for today. We really appreciate you guys for watching. Again, if you have any thoughts about those lingerie gifts, we'd love to hear, like, maybe when that's happened to you, or you know, whatever you may want to add to the conversation. Again, if there are topics that you guys want to hear us talk about and discuss, you know, drop that down in the comments below as well. And that is it for today's show. You know, please like, share, subscribe to the channel.
Tell us what you think about it.
Absolutely. Constructive criticism is absolutely welcome. And that's that. So thank you for watching. What is it called?
Growing with the Girtley.
Growing with the Girtleys. Sorry, y'all. This is still new to me. And again, this is our channel, our relationship channel called Building Bridges. Thank you for tuning in. You guys have a good rest of your day.
Have a good one.
God bless.